Thank you for this opportunity to present what we believe to be a unique company, Amniotics, that is, you could say, working strongly with regenerative medicine, working with mesenchymal stem cells from amniotic fluid, and we're able to have these tissue-specific mesenchymal stem cells from term amniotic fluid. A quick overview of the company. It was founded back in 2015, and it's headquartered in southern Sweden in Lund at the old AstraZeneca R&D site, today Medicon Village. That is also why we have a strong focus on respiratory and pulmonary indications. We are based on research from Lund University Stem Cell Center as well as Lund University or Lund Hospital. We've built our own GMP facility, so we are able to take a product all the way from the fluid all the way to fill and finish and ready for clinical trials and on the market later on. We were listed on NASDAQ here in July 2021, and we have a pipeline based on mesenchymal stem cells for 4 different products: the pulmonary that I spoke to, the neuronal or brain, the kidney, and the skin. We have an experienced and well-connected management team with myself, with backgrounds from Novo Nordisk, Leo Pharma, and Agilent Technologies. We have Johnny Humayoya with a strong background from Sambron, Boston Scientific, as well as Biogen. We have Helle Sturm, a very competent business developer with a background from Lundbeck, as well as Zealand Pharma. And we have Jörg Tals, a very strong addition also to the company with a very strong scientific background, both from Germany, Denmark, and Sweden, as well as connections into different companies in Sweden. So a little going back to what we do at Amniotics. What we do is that we develop and manufacture these innovative stem cell-based therapeutics where we're targeting to treat severe and life-threatening diseases. We are basing that very much on stem cells derived from the amniotic fluid that we see to connect a unique richness in high-quality stem cells, mainly from the neonate. Hence, we are able to select these cells from the very tissues derived from the neonate. Our business model is based on our know-how and our IP, and you could say very much like the classical biotech model, striking deals and trying to do out-licensing and partnership deals. We're based kind of a platform technology because we have this ability with different tissue-specific mesenchymal stem cells from the amniotic fluid, and we also have built a full GMP facility, as mentioned before, enabling us to have a full production capability. A quick overview of our pipeline. You could say, as I spoke to earlier, we have a strong target to begin with in the respiratory indications. So our first target is ARDS, or COVID-19, where we're targeting first patient in the first half of 2022. After that, we're starting to expand into idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, or lung fibrosis, and also lung transplantation. From there, we'll start to expand our pipeline and utilize our full and strong IP, going for neuronal indication, moving on to skin indication or derma, and then lastly into kidney. You can also see our last portfolio or pipeline product is within induced pluripotent stem cells, where we have a strong capability in production of hematopoietic stem cells from iPS cells. So we're able to produce these products for either oncology or bone marrow transplantation. If we look at how we view the area, we looked at ARDS or COVID-19, the severe cases is really where we're targeting it. And then you could say we also have the idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, to be a very interesting indication as we see it, due to it being an orphan indication and growing indication. And lastly, we also have lung transplantation, kind of, you could say, the end stage of both of these indications, but also where we see a very high need of treatment because there's not really any good treatments, especially for those patients that risk having what's called primary graft dysfunction that can lead to death or early rejection of the graft. As mentioned, our first indication is COVID-19 or ARDS. We believe our product to have anti-inflammatory, antifibrotic properties, hence this is where we move first. So we are going to target that, collecting both safety and tolerability data, but certainly also efficacy and also some of these post-COVID indications on efficacy, both on whether people start, you could say, getting less energized, and also some of the biomarkers for some of these targets. If we look at how COVID-19 is moving, we can see that there's still quite a lot of people that are not vaccinated, and some of these people unfortunately end up in hospital. So there's still a high unmet need for treatments for this indication. If we look at our technology platform, it's, as we spoke to earlier on, we are looking at using amniotic fluid because we have the prenatal infants that are depositing cells into the amniotic fluid. You could kind of think of the amniotic fluid as a reservoir of cells from the neonate. Hence, we have the capability of these neonatal mesenchymal stem cells with tissue specificity that we believe is really a unique character, enabling them and targeting them for different indications where we really see there's high unmet need and where we expect better products or capabilities of these products. What is of course also important to understand is that a single donation of this product enabling us up to more than thousands treatments, all of course depending on dose and repeated dosing. This is the overview of our different products and where we see that they will show capabilities in these different indications. So as mentioned before, we have the lung, we have the skin, we have the neuronal, and we have the kidney, enabling us really to have a diverse pipeline. And also, if we look at how these diseases are growing, you can see here that they're growing rapidly across the world. And also, you could say, and this is very much due to, you could say, an aging population, because an aging population, you see more issues with CNS disorders, respiratory disorders, and even derma disorders. So an aging population is very much driving some of these things, but this is also what we see in many areas across the world today. If we look at our production and scalability, we've built our full GMP facility, as mentioned before, enabling us to take a product all the way already from the plant C sections where we harvest the amniotic fluid all the way to clinical trials and later on to the market. We have a full built facility, and we also have a manufacturing authorization and have been GMP qualified by the Swedish MPA. An overview of our technology and process. You could say I spoke to this earlier. We start out with having a device which is both IP patented and CE marked, used to collect the amniotic fluid all the way through to fill and finish. So when we take the product, we filter the product for the cells, we select it for the different indications or tissues, expand them and fill and finish all the way to clinical trials. This enables us to both move towards clinical trials ourselves, but also at an earlier stage of co-licensing or co-development, where we're working on these different models. Our key value drivers is, as you already know, the global stem cell therapies represent a nascent, but also certainly a high potential market, and it's forecasted to grow quite rapidly and reach $3.1 billion in 2026, so not far from now. Amniotics control the full manufacturing process value chain. We are able to expand this across the world, so you could say our product and the processes are scalable. We are working with tissue-relevant neonatal mesenchymal stem cells tailored for these different diseases, uniquely extracted from the amniotic fluid. We have a broad pipeline targeting very attractive specialty disease market, as you saw on the slide earlier on, with these 4 different indications. We are looking to have a phase 1/2 initiated in early 2022. And we have the flexibility to license to pharma companies at different stages of development and manufacturing services even. This is potential to create higher value in orphan indications. We just listed at the NASDAQ in Stockholm, where we raised 60 million SEK to fund clinical development, manufacturing of our product, as well as research. We also have a strong board of directors with a very diversified background and competences. So we have our chairman with a strong background in entrepreneurial, starting up of biotechs and building them to the growth. We also have a broad background of entrepreneurs who have, you would say, supported the company moving forward with Christopher Reyes, Lars Stigson, and Marcus Larsson. Then we've ensured to collect strong regulatory competences from Christopher Bravery. We also have strong business development with Anders Monson, and also entrepreneurial and building up the company all the way to market with Fredrik Tieberg, and communications with Ingrid Atterik-Heimann. An overview of our organizational structure, as you could say, a strong commitment to production of these products, but also on the clinical space, as well as the business development. And of course, you could say, being biotech, these are flexible, people move and support different areas. So certainly also a lot of support in the, you could say, preclinical stage here as well. This was a, you could say, appetizer on amniotics, and you hope you enjoyed it and will be very open to take any connections with you moving forward.